Wherever you are, all around the world, I would like to welcome you to our webinar on Decode Your Dreams. This is a webinar that will help you to understand the mechanism of the consciousness and the unconsciousness. Many people have difficulty sometimes to understand what is the unconsciousness. The unconsciousness, the best way to understand it is to know that within ourselves we have like a living computer that records positive and negative memories through all our experiences. And it is stored, it is recorded in our unconsciousness. We can have the notions of unconsciousness, also has the notions of memories. Certain memories can be in our consciousness, so we can remember them, but many of our memories are unconscious. And they have been also prepared over a long series of events and situations. Imagine if you have been bullied when you were very young at school. A small incident happened when you were 7 years old. You don't even remember it, but it created in you notions of fear, a small fear, very fast. You watch a movie, it can do the same thing. You don't remember necessarily all the scenes and all the movies you have watched, and all the conversation your parents had. All these situations create micro memories, and these micro memories are added through time. So every time you have a small anger, a small one, you can be just a baby, and you're not happy because your brother just wants to, take your toys, and then you don't even speak, and you say, "Arr, arr, arr," and and you are, reacting. This is already a memory, and you don't remember necessarily what happened when you were 1 year old. So imagine all these fundamental codes. That is why when we are a parent, we need to be aware of this. We need to make sure that when we are raising a child, such a beautiful expression, when we are raising a child, we are also building his core values, principles, and what he is going to become tomorrow. So any small incidents, a child needs to have the right programming, the right yeses and the right nos. Because if you are impatient, if you are like tired, and suddenly you say yes to a baby, and it was not time to say yes, we should have said no. The baby has gained an access, has recorded also a memory. He has won a form of battle, and he will continue to battle, to combat, because if he won on something that was not right, then he will continue and increase this factor in him. At the clinic that we have at the UCM Teaching and Research Center, we help a lot of parents in their education now. We have many hundreds and hundreds of patients per year that are having consultation at our clinic. We learn a lot with this also. Because when you help others, when you are a therapist, when you are a teacher, you are also a student, and we grow from all the experiences, the knowledge also we gain by helping others. It's so beautiful, so profound to understand that. So often when a child is going through certain crises at the age of 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, and many difficulties can be there, especially with the new generation, because the new generations, they are born in a time of technology, in a time of multi-dimensions, multi-choices also. They have access to so many things at such a young age. And everything now in schools also is too young. The subjects that they are talking at the age of 4, 5 years old, 6 years old, they are already sometimes talking about, do you have a boyfriend? Or when are you going to get married? Things like this, it's really, really special. They try to copy the movies, copy the videos, because they have access, to lots of information regarding being, an adult too soon. Most of their education are exposed to a lot of hypersexuality also contents, in videos and in dancing, etc. Of course, dancing is beautiful. Videos can be related to art, can be related to creativity. But when a child is only 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, if he's exposed to adult content, adult music, and the songs, the lyrics, the dancing, the videos are related to aggressivity or hyper seductions, etc. And he's watching this all the time. So this is normal. It is pushing the limits of their behaviors, pushing the limits in their objectives also, and it's too soon. So when we are a parent, please, please, please be aware that you cannot just let your child in front of a computer screen or in front of a TV without knowing what he is watching. And also, even comics, even a Walt Disney movie needs to be explained to a child, because, he can think it and create codes, and sometimes wrong codes, or sometimes he will be so, fearing the witches, or he will be so dramatically, hurt because Snow White, is crying and Snow White has been abandoned. They don't understand that, Snow White has been, brought to the forest, and this hunter was supposed to kill her and to take the heart of Snow White and to bring it to the queen to make sure Snow White was dead and the queen could be the most beautiful person in the kingdom. That's the story of Snow White. This is quite intense when we think about this for a child to watch this. But if we are parents that understand symbolic language, of course, that doesn't mean you say, my child cannot watch Snow White. No. You will explain. You will explain why someone can do this. You can use this in your education. You explain good and evil, and in the great outlines at the beginning, and then you go deeply and more deeply with time. This is all about education. And if you don't do this properly, the friends at schools will talk about this, and they will talk not necessarily the right way. It will always about killing monsters, killing, hurting, destroying, etc. So, and when we are a child, our codes are basically quite standard in a way where it is either good or evil. The in-between good and evil is not easy to understand for a child. It's not easy, that's why they are like often connecting to police officers and thieves, so they understand the police officers are, stopping the thieves, and they are very, very connecting to this when they are very young, because their parents are always saying to them, don't do this, don't do that, go in the consequence because you have done this and that. So in their education, they do extreme things sometimes, you know. So in their spheres, of course, but they can, you know, do many, many things that they need to receive yes and no. And it's often with a child, very beautiful, good and angelic and extraordinary, or it's you know, awkward and not appropriate. So the in-between and the subtleties of, you know, negative behaviors mixing positive behaviors at the same time, this is more for your husband or for your wife or for your family most of the time. But with a child, it's so beautiful, it's a life force, it's real, it is there, he's making a lot of mistakes, and he's learning like a scientist, you know, creating the lab. So this is fine. But the education we give creates codes, and these codes creates eventually a manifestation that can be, you know, there and recorded deep in the core values for a long, 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 long time. So when we have problems with relations, and this is the first dream that we will study together, you will see a very, very interesting dream. And that will explain that this woman, she's from India, and this woman is having a lot of issues regarding relationships. And this dream is really revealing the core values, the ancient codes that have created many, many, many problems in her life. And sometimes it can be very subtle, of course, because, you know, she's a very intelligent person. She has a lot of, you know, progress that have been done because she's really working on herself, and this dream is a percentage of her. It's not only her. This is always important to understand this, this element where when we have a dream, and especially a nightmare, you know, unless we are the nightmare, unless we act exactly like the dream, you know, or the nightmare, then of course the memories are more important. But often it is subtle. Often the problems can come from others, and we say, how come do I attract this? How come I'm not capable of meeting the right person, the right love? How come my life is always ups and down? And, you know, how come I'm not married yet? I haven't found the right one. Like my friends, you know, certain of them, they are very happy, they have children. How come my life is different, you know? In your dreams, you can get the answers. And this is why working with dreams can help us to reprogram the deep memories, the values, and all the principles and the codes we have accumulated over a long, long, long period of time through sometimes very small events that created the neurons, that created a highway of reaction in us, and that can eventually, of course, be manifested in a way where, you know, if brothers and sisters were having problems because one of them was dominant when you were young, you will have problems with your husband or with your wife, you know, because this is fundamentally inscribed in your codes, you see. So that's why dream interpretation and dream analysis, you can evolve at the speed of the light.